Noun cases tonight. And I'm going to try to, I know it was real difficult last week, and I'm going to try to explain it again and discuss the information about nouns, because it's very, very important as you study the Greek language to get down the information about nouns. And I hope that after we're through tonight, we'll be able to recognize information about nouns that are very important. Two primary things that I'd like for you to know about nouns is, number one, that they have number. Nouns have number. Distinctions between singular and plural nouns are very familiar to us. We say, we have words that refer to singular words and plural, like you may say book or you may say books. And we understand that singular or plural. And similarly, in Greek, we see different forms to distinguish between singular nouns and plural nouns. The Greek, just as it is in English, the Greek verb must agree in number with its subject. That is, if the subject of the sentence is plural, the verb must also be plural. Now, there is an exception that we might get to way down the road somewhere, but primarily what we need to know is that the verb and the noun must agree in number, the verb and the subject in a sentence. And so it's important to understand singular and plural, and then we need to understand the Greek case system, the noun case system. And for our study, we're going to learn 5 cases. And if you take your handout tonight, and you'll turn to the, I believe it's the last page, it says cases. And I'm going to try to run through this again and explain about the 5 cases that we're studying. The 5 cases are the nominative, the genitive, the dative, the accusative, and the vocative. Now, there's some grammars, Greek grammars, that use 8 cases, but we're not going to worry about 8. We're just going to try to get 5. And I want to try to explain the case system. The case system is also familiar to us, but in English we don't make as many distinctions as they do in Greek. As a beginning point, we can say case refers to the function of a noun, or a pronoun, or an adjective in a sentence. A case refers to the function of a noun, pronoun, or adjective. If a word functions as a subject, it will be one case. If it functions as a direct object, it'll be a different case. And there may be a different form. So for example, in English, the first person singular pronoun is what? I. Is I when it is the subject. If you use the sentence, I saw the man, what is the subject in that sentence? I. I is the noun, I saw the man. Now, when it becomes me, but if it becomes me, it becomes the object. The man saw me. The number of cases in Greek, as I said, there are 5 of them. And if we use case to mean form, we can count these 5 cases. So let me run through them again and talk a little bit about the 5 cases. There is the nominative, the genitive, the dative, the accusative, and the vocative. The nominative, and what I want to do and ask you to write down on your handout there, I'm going to try to give you the description of the way it's used, the description. The nominative is used as a subject. It's like the subject of a sentence. The genitive is used as the source or the kind. The source or the kind. We'll go back through and explain a little bit more, but for now just write this information down. The dative is the indirect object. The accusative is the direct object. And the vocative is a direct address. And so when we talk about the 5 cases, we're talking about form. So you have the nominative is the subject, genitive is source or the kind, the dative is the indirect object, the accusative is the direct object, and the vocative is the direct address. The nominative case is the easiest. If the word is the subject of the sentence, it must be in the nominative case. If the word is the subject of the sentence. The genitive case, if you take the English prepositional phrase beginning with the word of, it is often useful for translating various ideas represented by the genitive case. Let me try to illustrate it. Suppose I say the phrase ho logos theou. Ho logos theou. What is logos? Word. Theou is of God. So if I say the Word of God, I say ho logos theou. Ho is the, this is the direct, it is ho logos theou. The Word of God. So the word there is the genitive case. What is the word nomos? Remember, law. Nomos is law. What is anthropo? Anthropou. What would anthropou be? It would literally be of man. And so, ho nomos anthropou is the law of man. So that's the genitive case, the law of man. And then if I say ho huios adelphou, that means the son, huios, adelphos. What is adelphos? Brother. So adelphou would be of a brother. So literally, ho huios adelphou would be the son of a brother. So that's the genitive case. And it's often translated with the beginning with the word of. So you have the source or the kind, the Word of God, the law of man, the son of a brother. Now we're going to see how you determine which case it is by the endings, and we'll talk about that in a moment. But I want you to try to get the cases first. So you have the nominative, the genitive, and then third you have the dative. The dative. The dative we said was what? Indirect object. Indirect object. I gave Dad the newspaper. I gave Dad the newspaper. What would be the indirect object? Dad. All right, so that's the dative case. What would be the direct object in that sentence? I gave Dad the newspaper. Newspaper. All right, so the dative case is the indirect object. The accusative case is the direct object. Does that make sense? All right. The noun there, I gave Dad, is the noun, it's the dative, and the newspaper is the accusative. In English, when a sentence has both a direct object and an indirect object, what comes first? The indirect object. In English, the sentence, I wrote him a letter. What's the indirect object? Him. What's the direct object? Letter. I wrote him a letter. I sold the man a car. I sold the man a car. What would be the indirect object? Man. See, in the English, the indirect object comes first. And the direct object would be what? The car, okay.